Relax, it's just sports, especially because the only two quarterbacks to beat the Jacksonville Jaguars and the Green Bay Packers are both Cincinnati Bengals.
Yeah, big news today. Huge news day for us.
Yeah, it just dropped like an hour before we're recording this. Joe Flacco is now looking for his third renaissance with a third separate AFC North team, this time the Cincinnati Bengals. What? Okay, I'm very confused.
Yeah, I want to know your opinion because if I recall last week, you were very specific that you didn't think the Bengals were going to go after someone. You said, I think Jake Browning's the quarterback.
And then the Lions game happened.
Yes.
And he now, through another 3-interception game, he has 8 interceptions on the season. It's the second most in the NFL behind only Geno Smith, and he's played a game and a half less than Geno Smith. And the offense looked horrible. And then I heard Zach Taylor on Monday say, we'll have a decision about our starting quarterback on Wednesday. Mm-hmm. And then Mike White was cut Tuesday morning. So then if you asked me this question again today, I would have maybe given you a different answer. But I didn't think Joe Flacco was the answer.
I don't think anybody thought that. Like, just quick reaction when I'm looking on the internet, nobody thought Joe Flacco was going to be picked up.
I mean, I get it from the Bengals' perspective because all they gave up was a 5th-round draft pick. They get back Flacco and a 6th-round draft pick. So essentially you're just dropping, let's just say for argument's sake, 30 spots in the draft.
It's a little different because I did read Schefter tweeted that it was the Lions' 6th-round draft pick.
So maybe it'll be like 45.
Yeah, it'll be a little further back, but still.
So before I dive into the Joe Flacco part specifically, I think one really encouraging thing for Bengals fans, the fact that they went out and traded for Joe Flacco to me means they believe Joe Burrow will play football again this season. Because if Burrow was not going to come back, they wouldn't go out and try to get a good quarterback.
Yeah.
And I know we've been seeing 3 months. 3 months is best case scenario. Now I guess it's 2.5 months. Still best case scenario. I just saw Joe Burrow in the locker room on Monday. He's in a boot. I don't know if we've seen him walking in a boot before, but it's clearly better than the first time I saw him. He was wrapped in one of those scooters. Mm-hmm. So it's trending the right direction. He's not talking to us right now. But I think the fact that they went out and got Flacco, you could insert any quarterback with any NFL starting experience here from outside the building. It means they think there's a chance Burrow will come back. And if there's a chance Burrow will come back, they want to be in contention because as long as they're in the mix. And I think a lot of it also has to do with the AFC North stinking.
Yeah, terrible.
Cleveland 1 win. Baltimore 1 win with Lamar hurt. I don't know if Lamar's questionable, I think, at this point for this week for the Ravens. And Pittsburgh was on a bye, and the Bengals still placed the Steelers twice. What's crazy is the Bengals lose 3 games. And I know it's so early, but they're still in control of their own destiny. In theory, because they played the Steelers twice still.
Yeah.
They're 1-0 in the division. And, all right, did I do that math right?
Yeah.
Yeah, because they've only played the Browns. They're 1-0 in the division. So, yes, everything is still in front of them. So, although it might feel bleak, the fact that they went out and got anybody means the Bengals still believe in their team, in my opinion.
Yeah. No, I totally agree. I mean, when I first saw it, I thought, okay, they're just trying to stay afloat until Joe Burrow re-enters the fray. My question is, was Joe Flacco the right pick? Or were there some other guys? I know that Diana Rossini tweeted
Hold on,
out.
breaking. I just got the email from the Bengals. It's officially official from the Bengals in real time. You see how this works. So we hear about it from, either we will break it internally or we'll hear about it from the big insiders like an Adam Schefter, Ian Rappaport, and Tom Pelissero broke this one. But until it actually happens, we get a note from the Bengals, the people who are on the beat, which I just got. The Bengals today acquired quarterback Joe Flacco, a 2026 6th-round and his 2026 6th-round draft pick from the Cleveland Browns for the Cincinnati's 26th 5th-round draft choice. And the Bengals just released as well Brett Rippon. Yeah, which makes sense. And then they just go into some stuff. And what Coach Zach Taylor says about him, we'll hear more from Zach Taylor tomorrow, Wednesday. Joe is an experienced quarterback with a history of winning. He is a leader with a skill set that will fit our personnel well. He is a gifted passer with a strong arm. We're excited to have him on our team. So you see how that happens. Okay, a little behind the scenes there. So your question, is Joe
the right answer? Because Diana Rossini tweeted out that the New York Giants were not at all contacted. So that means no Jameis, no Russell Wilson.
So I think those guys both would have been better answered, both Winston and Russell Wilson. But the issue is they're much more expensive than.
Winston's not. He's like a 1 year.
He's $3 million, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, but it's not. That's nothing.
$3 million is more than the entire Bengals quarterback room is making besides Joe Burrow. So yeah, you're right. $3 million, not a big deal, but like you have to remember you're dealing with the Brown family.
You're right.
They're not going to, like, that's the answer. Joe Flacco is making, I think his cap hit against the Browns is less than $1 million, $999,000 or something like that. So, no, that's the reason the Giants were not called. So, I go back and forth on the Joe Flacco thing when I say it's been only, an hour. I think it's the right move in the sense that Joe Flacco can get the ball out of his hands quickly. Mm-hmm. And that's a lot of what the Bengals are doing. If you look at what the Browns' offense was this year so far, and not that they were great, they were bad, but it was a lot of quick passes, get the ball to the playmakers. And Joe Flacco is a smart guy. He's a game manager. He still works great between the ears. So from that sense, great. What I'm concerned about, an immobile quarterback behind a bad offensive line. And I think I have found my dilemma answer to the offensive line that I've been saying, defending the offensive line. Mm-hmm. I think the offensive line has good players on it. I do.
Okay.
I think the scheme and the offensive line coaching is abysmal.
Okay.
And I think that's where the issue is. Because I've been struggling, and I know we're trying to talk about Joe Flacco.
No, it's fine. The O-line is very important to whether or not Joe Flacco succeeds. Yeah.
So what I've now had 5 games to watch this up close and personal.
Yeah.
And it didn't make sense to me. And if you listen to other episodes of the podcast, you heard me defend the offensive line. And I'm watching it, and I'm like, it doesn't make sense. I think Orlando Brown Jr. is good. Ted's good. Amarius Mims good. Fairchild's good. Like, I don't get it because all the parts individually are good, but at the end of the day, individuals don't matter on an offensive line. They have to play like one unit. I think that the new offensive line coach who they got from New England is not doing a good job.
Well, and mind you, New England's offensive line
wasn't good. Yeah, I mean, there might be some Callahan connection there is what I'm hearing.
Okay.
Because obviously Brian Callahan was the Titans. Bill Callahan, his dad, was a Hall of Fame offensive line coach.
Who still works with the Titans.
Yeah. Which I'm
Who also don't have a very good O-line right now.
That's personnel, though.
Sure, yes.
And like that, Titans are a disaster. Shout out for their first win. I wouldn't be surprised if Brian Callahan gets fired from the Titans, if we see Bill Callahan, his father, come on as some kind of advisor to the Bengals.
They can take all the help they can get.
I mean, he's a Hall of Fame offensive line coach.
No one's going to say no to that.
So that's just my thoughts on the offensive line. But regardless of the reason, they're not playing well. Mm-hmm. Chase Brown is hitting the backfield more than any other running back in the NFL. We're saying the same things every week.
Yeah.
But how is that going to go with a 41-year-old quarterback who never moved well?
Fully immobile.
Yeah. He still has so I think it's good because he still has a big arm. So like these are hands down, you never know when your chance is going to happen. You're 41 years old and you get the best wide receivers you're ever going to play with. Like that's cool because even when Joe Flacco won a Super Bowl with the Ravens, the wide receivers are not as good as Jamar Chase and T. Higgins are.
Yeah.
So I think there's a lot of excitement for Joe because he still has his arm. He could still air it out. Mm-hmm. Will he have time to air it out? Because
that's the concern.
I don't know. And because I will say, as bad as Cleveland's offense was, the one thing they did really well, block.
Yeah.
A very good offensive line in Cleveland. So is Joe the right move? Maybe, probably not. But I don't know who the right move is.
Yeah, I think in truthfulness, like the right move was probably a Jameis Winston, and the Browns were just not going to spend money on him.
Yeah, I think maybe more like a Marcus Mariota.
But Mariota kind of
Jaden
showed
Daniels
his.
is back.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. But Jaden Daniels just got back. Jaden Daniels has the ability to get injured anytime because he's a runner. He's all over the place.
Right. You needed a team that had 3 quarterbacks they were confident in. Kirk Cousins was going to be too expensive in Atlanta.
Yeah, so it felt like the Giants were like the only real push you could have made.
Yeah.
And I just feel like they, for many reasons, like you said, Jameis also a big personality.
Yeah.
That's
not going to happen here.
Doesn't really happen here. So I just think Joe Flacco definitely is the most Bengals pick that the Bengals could have had.
Did you see Willie Anderson online today?
No.
Willie Anderson, Ring of Honor guy, Hall of Famer. Oh, not Hall of Famer. Should be in the Hall of Fame.
Should be.
Bengals Ring of Honor, star offensive lineman. Willie blocked for Joe Flacco when he was a Raven.
Yeah, for like 1 year.
Yes.
Yeah.
Willie's been going on social media on X being like, I told you this was my quarterback, arm in arm with Flacco. Willie Anderson's a hoot if you've never met him. Really, really, really
Maybe
nice.
he can come in and coach the O-line.
I mean, he does do offensive line coaching.
That's what I'm
He
saying.
does like a lot of youth coaching. Willie Anderson, one of the best offensive linemen, definitely in Cincinnati, one of the best to play the game. Yes, so I'm worried Joe Flacco's immobility is an issue, but it was what, 3 years ago, 2 years ago, where he led the Browns to the playoffs.
And we don't need him to lead a team into the playoffs. We just need him to keep them okay.
5-7, 4-6, whatever it is, before Joe Burrow can hopefully come back. And if they're within striking distance of first place in the division, then Burrow will play.
Yeah.
I think it's really funny timing again because we talked about it a couple of weeks ago when Desmond Ridder was picked up off the practice squad for Minnesota before the Bengals played the Vikings. I don't really think that made a difference, but Desmond Ridder, funny enough, not funny enough, feel bad for him, was released shortly afterwards. Well, now Joe Flacco is the only quarterback in the NFL to have beaten the Green Bay Packers, and now he's coming on to the Bengals to play against the Packers, and apparently Zach Taylor's trying to start him at quarterback this week.
That is what Adam Schefter tweeted about.
Yeah.
Said that they're ready for him. They think he's a fast learner, which, yeah, he is.
The brain's there.
Yeah. I think there is no doubt that he'll play, but I wonder what will happen because in the Browns game, if you watched, it was a lot of defense doing a lot of the work for the Browns.
Yeah, the defense for the Browns is great.
The Bengals defense is not exactly the Browns defense, though they did have more sacks last week than they have been. Do you think that there is a chance they go into Lambeau and pull off the win?
Sure.
I think, but you know what? I really think there's a higher chance now because the element of surprise is so important.
Oh, yes.
I think the element of surprise is what gets them at least in a close.
I think the Packers are very upset that Joe Flacco just signed with the Bengals. I think they are like, this guy already beat us, and now he's playing us with a much better offense.
Yeah.
The Browns won that game against the Packers. The Browns' defense won that game. But if you're throwing screens, now you're throwing screens instead of to whomever on the Browns. You're throwing them to Jamar Chase.
Yeah, no Njoku. This is Chase Higgins.
Yeah. You have, like, premier players. So I think the element of surprise for sure, and I think Flacco can audible well. He sees the game well. I think there's going to be some stupid plays. He's going to throw an interception. He already has 6 interceptions. And Jake Browning had 8.
Yeah, in the same amount of games.
It's going to be an issue, but I'm with you. I think the Bengals could 1,000% win this game. Yeah, I can totally see the Bengals winning, and which is crazy to say because then the Bengals are 3-3, second place in the division still. And that's why they made this move. I think if the Browns and the Ravens both had 2 or 3 wins, I don't know that the Bengals make this move. I think they're like, carpe diem, seize the day. We've missed it when we've been good. Let's make it when we're bad.
Yeah, I'm with them. I'm interested to see what happens. I've not been the biggest Joe Flacco fan.
Has anyone in Cincinnati? Like, he's played for all the teams you hate.
Yeah, literally. Not been the biggest Joe Flacco fan, but I am more excited to watch this game than I thought 2 hours ago.
Yes.
I mean, when we were going over the show notes, I was like, should we push Bengals to later in the show?
No.
Like, do we want to watch or talk about them losing for the 500th time in my brain? But no, we've got something new. We've got something exciting.
Yeah, I mean, just think how quickly this city could change if Joe Flacco wins on Sunday.
Yeah.
There's going to be Flacco signs everywhere. Kids are going to be getting his jersey in orange and black. Like, one win could change everything. People are going to be wearing gray wigs in the crowd on next Thursday night for the whiteout. Yeah, it could be electric. So
It could be also a failure. But
It
if it
could
is,
be a 38-0 loss.
but if it's a 38-0 loss, you probably were losing 38-0 with Browning anyway, so who cares?
My only real concern about Joe Flacco is truthfully injury because he's going to get hit. I think he's going to hit a lot.
Well, if he gets hit, welcome back, Jake Browning.
Yeah. It's just a real concern.
Yeah,
But
I just think at this point it's like,
whatever.
who cares? Do what you can. Put all your chips on the table.
That's
and say,
low-key what
"Screw
Zach
it."
Taylor said about the play calling against Detroit. He's like, we're just trying to make something happen. So we called a flea flicker that was almost a disaster.
Yeah.
And it was almost a disaster. But yeah, it was. I think they're kind of at like, let's just try something. We just got to keep our head above water until maybe Joe can come back. And then who the heck knows? Like it might feel bleak, but it might not be bleak. So now that we don't need to spend too much time on this Lions game now because I think it's a new team. But to talk about a few things, I saw my tweet was on Pardon My Take.
Yeah.
Because it was 50-50 Lions fans. Like there was brown paper bags.
Maybe 60-40
Maybe.
Lions fans.
Yeah. The Let's Go Lions chants were loud. The Lions tweeted "We Day." The Boo Birds were falling. They were singing over Browning, but like I don't want to beat up on Jake Browning. He's coming out. Who cares? I think Bengals fans, like you sold your tickets to Lions fans, and I think I don't think it made a difference, but I don't think it helped.
And let me tell you something. As a Lions fan, they sold the tickets to Lions fans for still a crazy amount.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
Well, because it's so close to we're so close to Detroit.
Yeah, we're not far from Detroit. I was looking at tickets, as I am a noted Lions fan. I was looking at tickets up until an hour before, just checking. It never dropped under 150.
Really?
Yeah. Because Lions fans were buying them. Like, they were going off the shelf.
Well,
But
why wouldn't you want to watch the Lions play? Like,
I simply am not paying $100.
no, I don't mean you. I'm just saying,
No, I know.
like out to the ethers. If you're a Lions fan, and like, why wouldn't you want to go?
Yeah, no,
They're a fun team to watch play football.
And Ford is also, like, packed all the time. So it makes
Yeah.
sense to come here.
And we see this a lot when it's an NFC team playing against an AFC team, and your team is on the road. Like there will be, I guarantee, a lot of Bengals fans at Lambeau Field,
Just 'cause
because
it's
it's
so
like you never
cool.
get a chance to go to Green Bay.
Yeah.
And it's a drive. Right?
But
It's a
man,
far
I
drive,
was
but-
really hoping Bengals fans would like cut us a deal. The team was bad. Like, just let me have the ticket for 100.
Yeah.
But no, they were not. It was like 175 for every ticket.
Yeah, it's funny how the tickets work. I know my parents are coming to town for when the Jets play the Bengals, and my dad was like, "Oh, should I buy tickets now?" And I was like, "No matter what, wait." But like, also like, it could be a combined 2 wins between those two teams at
Yeah.
that point. But yeah, the tickets are exorbitant to go to a Bengals game right now, and even without Joe.
Even with Jake Browning after the abysmal performances before that. So pretty terrible.
Yeah.
Boo Birds were out, which I think is also why Zach Taylor was ready to make a new decision, move on.
I thought Zach was cool about how he took full accountability. He's like, this is on me, this is on me. I think one quote from that post game is getting blown way out of proportion. Jamar Chase.
I saw this, yes.
Jamar Chase said, and there's a language you have to learn to speak when you cover the Bengals, and some people speak it, some people don't. I call it speaking Jamar. Jamar says what he means, and he speaks well, but sometimes you have to understand what he is saying, and maybe he's throwing some shade here and there every now and then, but I really don't think he was. He said that maybe our offense is a little bit too predictable. All Jamar Chase meant by that, through my interpretation, was every team knows that they want to get the ball to Jamar Chase and to T. Higgins. It wasn't a shot at play calling. It wasn't a shot at anything else. It was like Jamar's not doing that this year. Between getting the contract and becoming a captain, which he keeps talking about how much that means to him, the captain stuff. He's not calling out people. He's not calling out the coaching staff. Coaching staff took care of him.
Yeah. I don't know that even if he was meaning it to be everybody knows we're going to run when we run, everybody knows when we're going to pass when we pass, I don't think he was still even attacking Zach Taylor. I think he was more so just saying, like, yeah, everyone knows the deal with this team right now. Like, we have Jake Browning. Obviously, we're going to run
it wasn't
a
a
lot.
shot at anybody.
Yeah, I don't think it was that deep. But I did see it, and I did see a lot of people commenting on how that might be about Zach.
Just as someone who's in the locker room multiple days every week they have players there. I wouldn't look too deep into that. Zach, I liked how Zach was like, I understand why people want to know if I'm giving up play calling. We've scored 3 points at the half. the last 3 weeks, and he's like, I'm not. And we've gone through the will Zach give up the play calling before. At nauseum, it feels like. It's never going to happen.
And also, like, he would give up the play calling to a guy who's just been his, like, quarterback coach for a billion years.
Yes.
So it's not that big of a move. It's not life-changing. Nothing would really be impacted.
And I wonder how much play calling really, like,
With
really
Jake Browning,
matters.
probably it really matters.
No. Because, like, they have their menu of plays.
Mm-hmm.
So every time it's one of 5 plays.
Yeah, but I think that kind of is a problem.
But they're also being told, like, from the OC up in the booth. They're, like, hearing things from everywhere. And it's, like, really, when it comes down to it, I think it's, like, one of 2 plays.
Yeah, it is one of 2 plays, but I think that could kind of be the problem because if you look at my favorite person of all time, of course, Sean McVay, it's like it's actually one of 12 plays. Well, so they have a wider variety.
You're talking about, like, arguably one of the best offensive minds in NFL history.
Famously the person he supposedly learned after, though.
But everyone has learned after him.
So I'm hoping that he would have more than just 2 plays to provide.
So 2 is being hyperbolic, but my point is they're all in the same system. They all follow the same beliefs.
Yeah.
They're going to call similar things.
I think that with Jake specifically, it was like, we have 3 plays for you. That's really all we're doing right now, just because of Jake and, like, where he was. So I do think that, like, with Joe, you're right. Not sure it's play calling. He has a lot of ability. With Jake, it probably was play calling.
So my argument there is not play calling in the moment. It's the plays he's given going into the game.
Sure, same.
So, right. So when we're talking about play calling, we're talking about what play is being called at that specific moment, not about the plays they're given going into the game.
Sure, but I do think, like, some of the play calling he made in game was still.
I'm not saying it was good.
Yeah.
I'm just saying I don't think it'd be different.
I would just, like,
with this current administration of coaches.
With these current people, absolutely not.
That's all I'm saying.
But I do think that there is a dream that Bengals fans have that maybe one day it will be. Either with a new OC or whatever.
Sure.
Whatever. Anything else on Bengals?
Hey, it's week 5. Week 6 now. No one in the world thought a month and a half ago this is where the Bengals would be on their 3rd starting quarterback. And embrace it.
Yeah.
It's still going on. Like, it's not done yet. And listen, I think people who have listened or watched my stuff know I'm not a homer by any stretch. I'll say it how it is. The worst thing I think a team can do is get mad at the coaching staff, get mad at the players, get mad at the front office, and then start either not coming or selling your tickets to the other team, because the players feed off that. Like, as corny as that sounds, like, it's really hard to play good football at home when you're getting. I don't care if you boo the players. I don't care at all. They're getting paid millions of dollars. Yeah. You will expect them to be good. But, like, making it a road environment for the home team, who has, like, given you 4 consecutive winning seasons, and right now they're down bad because their quarterback is out because he got hurt. I don't know. Like, it's kind of lame to me, if I'm being honest. Like, just stay with it. I get it. Like, boo the team that isn't good, but I just think if you're going to do that, don't complain about them being bad, because you're part of the problem now. Mm-hmm. I think. And stop asking for autographs then.
I think hope for the best, prepare for the worst, prepare for Joe Flacco to really suck and everything be bad, and you'll know that that's already what's going to happen. But also hope that Joe Flacco comes out, kills it, see what happens.
He could win. Anything
could happen. Just let it.
How funny would this game be if it tied like 13-13?
That would be disgusting for me personally.
Because then we'd also have to put the 1 in the tie column. That's a little inside baseball. Put the 1 every time we make a graphic. Okay, no ties.
Let's talk about a better team.
Oh!
Do you see Bearcats?
You see?
Yeah.
Yeah. Who would have thought? Okay, who would have thought 2 months ago we'd be talking about the Bearcats as potentially a top team in the country,
Not me.
And the Bengals as, the
abysmal.
Bengals abysmal. I've used that word so many times on TV recently. Abysmal. Bearcats are rolling. They look fantastic. They beat number 14 Iowa State at home. Fans stormed the field. That was fun. And we'll get into the storming of the field. I'm okay with it.
Okay.
Yeah, the Bearcats are absolutely rolling. They look great. Their offense, I don't believe, has a hole in it. I asked Scott Satterfield today, what's your hole in your offense now? Because everything, and in a respectful way, because whatever. I wasn't just like, you guys are good, what's bad? And he was like, well, maybe our third down efficiency. I'm like, but I said, Coach, you're not getting a third down. He goes, yeah, that's kind of true too.
Oh, he said, I wanted you to notice that.
Yeah. He was being a little pick me.
Yeah.
Did I use that right?
Yeah, you did.
Let's go. My sisters are going to be so proud. Yeah, he was being a little pick me there, saying we were, a third down's not great. We're not getting a third down. Yeah, so the offense is, so it starts with the Bearcats offensive line for 3 weeks now are the Big 12 offensive line of the week. They are incredible. Brendan Sorsby's been sacked one time.
Yeah.
One time through 5 games. That's pretty dang. Was it through 5 games or is that just Big 12 play?
I think it might be just Big 12.
Fine. One time.
Yeah.
He's an NFL prospect. No doubt. His accuracy, his athleticism. They have a tandem at running back. If you have not watched Cincinnati football, it is so fun. There's this dude, Tawi Walker. He runs through people's faces. One analyst on ESPN or somewhere said that he should have gotten called for offensive targeting. Excuse me, what? Okay, what? He literally ran through a guy's face. I was on the field when this happened, and there was an audible, like, from the cheerleaders, the benches, like, ooh! That was sick. And then Evan Pryor, he played his first 3 years at Ohio State. Then last year, he was with the Bearcats, and, it was kind of like a change of pace from Corey Kiner last year. And this year, he's just exploding. His first 2-touchdown game against Iowa State. The wide receivers are so fast and talented, and Satterfield did a great job getting guys from the transfer portal from the group of 5 level. Caleb Goody Jr. caught an 82-yard touchdown from Brendan Sorsby, and I loved earlier in the game, Sorsby overthrew Caleb Goody Jr., and Brendan goes over to him, and he's like, I should never be able to overthrow you. And that kind of goes into something that I loved, that Dante Corleone, the All-American defensive tackle, he went to high school in Coleraine right here. Best player on the team by far, voice of the team. I was talking to Dante, and I was like, dude, like this game, you won by 8 against Iowa State. You won by 3 against Kansas. You always lost these games. Pretty much your whole career here, except because the college football playoff year, he was a redshirt, I believe. What's different? He's like, and players, whatever. And he goes, honestly, Brendan Sorsby. He goes, yeah, he's great on the field. He's like, we have not had a leader at the quarterback position like that since Desmond Ridder. And he's like, the buck stops here with this dude. Brendan Sorsby's a college kid. Obviously, he's making NIL money, but he's taking his offensive lineman out to Jeff Ruby's for steaks afterwards. And
I'm sure Ruby will pay for that.
I'm sure it's not. But Brendan said the bill was pretty expensive. Brendan was like, it ain't cheap, but whatever. And then I was talking to some of the linemen, and they're like, yeah, it's a tax for protecting you, dude. Yeah, Sorsby's an interesting cat, man. He lives on the other side of the river. He drives into work every day. School, but it's work.
It's work, basically.
Him and I were talking. I've gotten to know him pretty well. So he's a great dude. He had like basically all like D2 college offers until like the end, and then like Indiana came along, and he went from Indiana. And then after Indiana, like he was getting offers everywhere. Could have left Cincinnati, but his last 5 games last year were not good. And everyone this year, when they lost to Nebraska, and he had a horrible game, it was like, oh no. And then Bowling Green, Northwestern State, and then he's just been balling. Jake Golday has been really good at linebacker for them. And truthfully, Scott Satterfield, like, you got to give a coach time, I think, no matter what. 3 years, I think, is the fair amount of time, and he's showing that in his year 3. I mean, obviously, if they only win 4 games the whole year, it's a bad year. But it doesn't look like that. Like, they have UCF coming up this week at Nippert Stadium. UCF is a fast and athletic team, but they're not like physical like the other. I'm actually very interested in this matchup because Cincinnati's offensive power, besides the offensive line, is their speed. UCF is very fast. So I'm really interested in that matchup. I think I'm interested to see how much we'll see of tight end Joe Royer, who's an Elder High School alum. People were talking about him going into this year as a potential first-round draft pick, maybe the best tight end in the country. He was also an Ohio State guy. He came to Cincinnati mainly to come home after his mom passed away. So a lot of really great stories on this team.
Yeah.
They're a really easy group of guys to root for. And I know Cincinnati football doesn't get like the following that like Ohio State does, but man, if you want to watch fun college football, because it's not just that they're good, because like Iowa's good a lot of years, but I hate watching Iowa football.
Yeah, nobody wants to watch
Or
Iowa.
Northwestern. Like this is like a team that's going to go put points on the board. They're going to fling the ball around. They're going to call some wacky trick plays sometimes. And yeah, and if you're a true lover of like nitty gritty football, there's no better player to watch than Dante Corleone. So he was on a pitch count last week because he was coming back from an injury. When he is on the field, it takes 3 offensive linemen to block him.
Yeah, he's huge. And he's great.
And other guys are getting sacks and getting tackles for loss because the whole line is guarding one guy.
Yeah.
They're just a fun team, really fun team to watch. They got UCF this week. If they beat them, they'll be 5-1 in the game away for their first bowl game since Satterfield got there. So that's kind of where I'm at with UC. What are your thoughts?
You know that I've always been kind of down on Satterfield due to previous experience.
Louisville.
Yes, I'm from Louisville. I watched Satterfield at Louisville. I worked at a station in Louisville, so I had to help cover him. Scott Satterfield has always had good offenses. They've always been pretty fun. I'm a huge college football lover in the sense that I like a little messiness. I like a little interception. I want it to be fun and fast. Like, that's my vibe. He's always been able to provide that, and I think his defenses have always kind of let Louisville down in the past.
But remember, it's really not his defense. Like, yes.
Yeah,
but
his team's defense, yes.
And they have a new defensive coordinator this year.
Well, and that's what I was going to say. Coming to UC with Dante Corleone already there, he already had some
Juwan Briggs, who got picked for the Jets.
He had some key guys already. I think that's much better of a situation for him, and I could see them doing okay. I'm still a little off. I don't want to be a Debbie Downer because that's not the vibe I like to present. But I will note.
You do a great job at it.
I put in our show notes. Iowa State did have 16 players hurt, including their all Big 12 DBs.
Sure.
Which is going to impact how great the wide receivers were, and their kickers, which definitely impacted the play calling and decision making on them. So I'm interested to see them keep going. I thought that was a great win. I thought it was so fun. I watched your video of all the fans running on the field. I thought that was great. I'm excited for them. I just want to keep seeing it and keep seeing them.
100%. They win 2 conference games this year. What the heck?
Yeah.
But enjoy the moment.
Totally.
Because they got another home game.
And they're gonna show up somehow in the top 25 voting.
So they're right outside right now?
Right now. But I'm like, if they keep this going one more week, because
they beat UCF, they'll be a top 25 team.
UCF is not, for as interesting as the matchup is, UCF is not like a top tier team. So if they beat UCF, they're easily in 20 to 25 range.
Yes, just because it's a conference win, they'd be 5. Yep. Other teams will naturally lose. Yep. Yeah, no, they'll be in the top 25 if they win this week. And I think... So they stormed the Bearcat fans stormed the field. You referenced my video on Instagram and TikTok. So people were like, "Well, it's Iowa State, 14 in the country." Yeah. That's how I feel about you. Whatever. That's their biggest. That's the Bearcats have not beat a team at Nippert Stadium ranked as highly as 14 in the country since 2006. Yeah. There's a major caveat to that. They weren't in a major conference before that, so they would play they wouldn't play a ranked team at
If they were playing a ranked team,
it was on
always
the road.
Away. Yeah.
It was Notre Dame.
Yeah.
It was Indiana wasn't ranked when they went there, but you get the idea. So have fun. I remember. So I it's a funny story. I was in the opposite end zone of the student section, and I see them all of a sudden start filling the alleys, like the walking stairs, and I'm like, oh. This might actually happen. I've covered a lot of, Cincinnati's big football now, but I used to cover college football in Texas. So I've seen top teams go down. I've seen this, but I haven't seen it in Cincinnati. So I'm like, okay, because I've been here for 4 years, but I still haven't seen this. So I walk over to the other end zone, and some student, bless him, this drunk 21-year-old kid, "Bro, Marshall, I love your videos, dude." And I'm like, "Oh, what's up, buddy?" He goes, "Man, do you just have the craziest FOMO right now?" I'm like, "FOMO of what? I'm here." He's like, "That you could just be partying with us." I'm like, "I wouldn't be anyway."
You're like, "I'm actually 29 years old."
But I appreciate that you think I could hang.
Yeah.
And he's like, yeah, dude, like, this is sick. Like, can you get a pic of? So I took a picture of him and his friends. He's probably a listener, honestly, because he like really like knew my whole life story. And then he was like, dude, this is gonna be crazy. I go, oh, so this is happening, right? He goes, oh yeah, it's about to be a tsunami. And I'm like, do you realize that's not a storm? I don't think, whatever.
It's close enough. Tropical storm.
But they were so happy. That's what college is about. Then he said, that goalpost is going to the Ohio River. I was like,
good luck with that one.
for sure. This isn't Vandy. It's not going to Nash. Like, it's not the SEC.
Yeah.
But so
not Tennessee
I was like
beating
ready when they
Alabama.
start storming the field. I'm like ready. Like, okay, this is about to be crazy. It was like the most polite field storming I've ever seen. It was like so like controlled the way they came down
just
in
walking
aisles.
slowly,
They were like,
carefully.
they got on the field. Hey, hon, are you okay? Are you okay? Are you okay?
Everybody make room for each other? Does anybody need water?
Literally, social distancing accepted in a UC field storm. But that's the way to do it. It was safe. No one even came within 30 yards of a goalpost. I was ready. I wanted to see a kid like.
And I've been to plenty of SEC teams, especially upsets. I've seen those goalposts get taken down. I've seen them preemptively take them down.
Yes.
That was not exactly the vibe at UC. They were just like, "Hello, we're happy to be here. We love this. We love this field. We're having a good time."
I saw one goalpost go down last week, and it was when Monday Night Football in Denver when they were taking the goalpost down. So, good for UC, good for their fans. They did it well, healthy. Big game against UCF. Listen, if UC wins against UCF, genuinely, we could be looking at a team that can go to the Big 12 championship. Like, their path isn't crazy. Health, a lot of other things, but speaking of playoffs,
Yes.
red season's over.
I know. I hate that we only do this once a week because so much literally changes in a week, especially
Yeah.
in baseball. So
Maybe baseball season we'll talk about
Yeah.
we'll updates or whatever.
yeah, we were talking about who's to say what happens against the Dodgers? Now we're already
We know
in
what's
the
to say.
Yeah, we're already watching the Dodgers basically make the NLCS. So
Dodgers are going to win the World Series by the time we're back on.
yeah.
Yeah, I mean, they never had a chance against the Dodgers. It was like, oh, that's so cute. You're invited to the party.
Yeah.
And that's how they treated them, and that's how it looked. The Reds never looked like they had a chance. Truthfully, you know when I thought this series was over?
Was when Hunter Green gave up a home run to Shohei Ohtani.
Before that, if you could
Really?
even believe it, before the first pitch from Hunter Green.
Yeah.
Was actually Hunter Green, though, so I thought you were going to say
Was it when he went to the mound?
Yeah.
Yeah.
When he knew cameras were out, and Hunter will do this stuff sometimes where he knows the cameras are there, kneeled on the mound the day before, I know it's his hometown, and like took a minute to take it all in. That moment, I'm like, stage is too big.
It's one of those moments where you watch it and you go, either he is going to throw a no-hitter and be the most amazing pitcher I've ever seen, or he is going to be overcome with emotion and can't do it.
Not pitchers. It never goes that way for the pitcher. It's always, like, if you're thinking, like, you have to rise to some occasion, like, that's where you hear the act like you've been there before. Like, that's really a psychological thing. That's like, yeah, like, it's not it's a sportsmanship thing too, but acting like you've been there before is because it keeps your body at equilibrium. We're talking about 1 millisecond of a release, 1 centimeter of where the ball is going to be is the difference. Nerves change that. Moments change it. Like I think Hunter's an amazing pitcher, and I think his career is like still just getting started. And I think like he has a Cy Young in his future. There's a good chance he could be on a World Series winning team. He's going to have many more All-Stars. But when I saw that, it was the I have not been here before moment to me.
Yeah, there's a lot of conversation about like, was he tipping his pitches? The Dodgers seem to be pretty aware of every single thing he was throwing. This happens all the time, especially this playoffs. I feel like there's been tipping allegations everywhere.
Also the Dodgers are just
great.
incredible.
Yeah. I think, and overall, the Reds really never had a chance. How would you grade this season, knowing everything we know now? They make it to the playoffs. They're going to lose. But for Tito's first season, making the playoffs, pretty big deal. When they
A minus.
A minus?
A minus, yeah.
How did you feel about Francona's decisions in the playoffs?
Honestly, it was fine with them.
Okay.
Are you talking about like pitching decisions? Like what do you?
Pitching decisions. How was bullpen day on day 2? So
I have no problem with
pitch.
it. I have no problem with the bullpen day.
And then
they've statistically done well on bullpen days.
No, Stewart starting the first game, starts the second game, that kind of stuff.
Yeah, I mean the Sal Stewart stuff. They've really been like picking and choosing their spots with him, and I think you kind of got to go with what's got you there.
Yeah.
And that is what's gotten them there.
And Lodolo like only pitching 2.
Well, Lodolo's issue was that he had to pitch the last game against Milwaukee.
Yeah.
And, like, you don't bring a guy back on short rest unless you have to. And I mean, it's tough that they never got Andrew Abbott a playoff start. Mm-hmm. But wouldn't you be really happy if you needed him game 3? Like, the Reds were leading in game 2.
Yeah, it's like a real 2020 situation. I look back and I don't know what the right answer is.
Here's why I have no issue with it. Because I've said this multiple times on the podcast, the Reds are not in the playoffs without Terry Francona. I like David Bell a lot as a guy, the Reds' previous manager. This was basically the same team. Mm-hmm. A different player here and there, but they don't even come close to the playoffs with him. Terry Francona got them to the playoffs. So if Terry Francona is going to go down with the ship, and he even admits sometimes he takes too long to make a change. We saw that with the Ellie De La Cruz slide down in the lineup, which wound up being a very successful thing. So if a guy gets you there to somewhere the team hasn't been, I don't count whatever the COVID season, but like over a decade, you got to ride with what he decides.
Yeah.
And that's kind of where I'm at. Like the Reds are playing the Monstars. Mm-hmm. So I think the bigger question is, what is Tito's future?
And I want to know what you think his future is.
So if you were to have asked me this question in late July, early August, I thought he'd retire after this year. Mm. I think we need to get a couple months away from it because I think he's exhausted. I think he got a jolt of energy with the playoff run, but I think he's exhausted, and he has had the health issues in the past. He was relatively very healthy this year, relatively. Like I think he's missed a game or 2. I don't want to put that out there if he didn't, but I think he missed a game or so.
I believe he missed a game or 2.
I think he needs time to process and get better and be with family. But this team was young and fun, and I could see him coming back for one more year.
I was about to say, I really thought towards the end of the season that he felt revitalized with this young team. Like, it looked like he was having fun with them.
And which could be argued, is that a swan song? Mm-hmm. Is that like oh man, I got 3 more weeks of this.
Yeah.
So I do think he comes back for one more, but there's a reason it's called the dog days of the summer, the dog days of the year. Like, it's a grind. Like 162 games. Well, this year they put 164. He's not, the spring chicken he once was, and we just saw his counterparts like Bruce Bochy get out. Like we're seeing these older guys that leave, and I do think he'll come back for one more year at this moment. Because he was successful down the end and because of how much fun, and he loves this clubhouse, loves them. He loves how young they are. They keep him young. Mm-hmm. But, I noticed his walking wasn't as good towards the end of the year. Like his little limp came back. I don't think it's a mental thing. I think he's just exhausted. So we'll see. I don't think he would survive in a big city right now. Like if he was dealing with the Boston media still, or the New York, or LA, whatever, but Philly, like he wouldn't succeed there. But the fact that he's in Cincinnati, one of the smaller markets in the league, I could see him going through one more, and that's it. Okay. Like win, lose, or draw. Truthfully, if they would have made it to the NLCS, I think he would have been done.
Yeah, 100%.
I think he feels like he has unfinished business.
Good. I like that.
Yeah.
I want him to stay.
That's my take. Mm-hmm. Oh, I love dealing with Terry. And he's a Hall of Famer. Like, be around him as much as possible. You learn so much.
Yeah, keeping with the playoffs, a team we literally have never talked about on this podcast, but a team that you have covered many a times.
Very closely.
Very closely. Perhaps we have a week show about it.
Here we go. Here we go, Cincinnati. Okay, anyway,
that was beautiful, everyone. Yeah.
Thank you. They actually always get mad at me when I do the show, and I can't sing, but they have it in there, say the Cincinnati "Here we go" thing. FC Cincinnati is who we're talking about. If you don't know, the MLS team here. Mm-hmm. I know there's FC Cincinnati. I think has a great fan base, so I know there's a lot of people though who also do not follow Major League Soccer. So let me break it down for you real quick. Mm-hmm. There's the regular season, and in Europe and everywhere else, there only is a regular season. So there's this thing that if you win the regular season in like the Premier League, Champions League, whatever, like you're the champs.
You win a big trophy, you're excited.
So the MLS has that, and if you're in first place at the end of the regular season, you win what's called the Supporters Shield. FC Cincinnati won it 2 years ago. People in America don't really realize why that's a big deal.
Yeah.
But like everywhere else in the world, that's all that matters. Now, with that said, Major League Soccer is an American sports league, so they said, wait, we gotta have playoffs.
Yeah.
So they make this playoff tournament. It's called the MLS Cup playoffs.
To be clear, too, for people who don't watch European soccer, they are also playing in playoff style tournaments as well.
Yes, but it's different.
Yeah, it's totally different, but they do still win cups for different tournaments.
Right. But then when you're dealing with Europe, you're talking about different leagues merging from them. Like you could have Bundesliga in Germany playing a team from La Liga in Spain.
It's all over the place.
It's a lot because you're dealing with so many countries as well, and governments and FIFA and whatever. Major League Soccer is just an American sports league that also has Canada involved, and they have the Supporter Shield, which FC Cincinnati won 2 years ago, and then they have the MLS Cup playoffs. I believe that the players care more about the MLS Cup playoffs.
Yes, I would agree.
From talking to them, like, because it's America, like, you care about winning the playoffs. So, with that said, the reason I break that down is FC Cincinnati cannot win the Supporter Shield. They have one game left. They're off this week. They take on Montreal on the 18th.
Yes.
They take on Montreal on the 18th, and that's the final game of the year. FC Cincinnati could finish as high as second place in the Eastern Conference, as low as third place in the Eastern Conference. Then the playoffs begin.
The Supporter Shield has already gone to Philadelphia.
Yes, since one of Cincinnati's rivals. That's Pat Noonan and Chris Albright, FC Cincinnati's head coach Pat Noonan and general manager Chris Albright have ties to Philadelphia.
They came from over there.
They came from over there. They have a lot of, whenever it's a really chippy game, it's actually a great rivalry. So, in the next few months, I recommend watching some soccer. FC Cincinnati games are super fun. They sell out. If you're a sports fan, you like competition, it's a pretty good level of play.
I think playoff soccer is so much fun here.
So I kind of hate the first round,
Understand.
and then I like it because the first round, it makes no sense. So let me explain how it makes sense. The top 7 teams from each bracket, from the East Coast, Eastern Conference and Western Conference, are in. The 8th and 9th teams play in a wild card game. And then the next round is best 2 out of 3. Home teams, which will be FC Cincinnati because they're higher seed, will get a home game, road game, if necessary, another home game. And then it's single elimination. Why? Because more games means more money.
Yeah, I wish it was just single elimination.
Just be single elimination.
Yeah.
Because they're also then playing on short rest, and it's a mess. But it's fun. It's high intensity. You get all kinds of cultures mixed together. So I'm a fan of what the next few months could be for FC Cincinnati. And yeah, so that's kind of the background of where we're at with FC Cincinnati, Major League Soccer. So you can follow the games are fun. The Bailey, which is the supporters section, is fun. It's just good fun.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah.
The teams are set for the playoffs, but the spots are not set.
Yeah.
Right now they would play Orlando City, which everyone goes, we don't know anybody. We know the person at Miami. That's it.
Yes.
We
know one Florida man.
Miami is one of the top 4 teams, so you would not see Miami in existence until later on in the playoffs. But
for those who don't know, Miami is where Lionel Messi plays.
Yeah, famously the most famous soccer player of all time.
Athlete in the world right now.
Yeah, who happens to just be in America vibing.
Well, because Apple TV gave him a share of the revenue. So basically, if you're an FC Cincinnati fan and you pay for Apple TV to watch your team, you're actually paying part of Messi's contract.
Yeah, and
soccer's crazy.
And Messi couldn't play where he once played, so he had to find a new place to go.
Yes.
And he picked Florida.
And he's guaranteed a part of ownership.
Yeah, so he's got his life set.
Yeah.
As
David Beckham owns that team.
As if he didn't have his life set beforehand. This is enough.
Poor Messi.
He goes through so much.
He
But
tries so hard.
Messi's so much fun to watch. The FC players are so much fun to watch.
Yeah, Denke is a blast. You got Roman Celentano in goal has been really fun. Like, he puts together clean sheets. They're good personalities. Matt Miazga is like this big enforcer, defensive player. He also used to play overseas.
If you watch U.S. men's national team, there's some players who frequent the team.
Yeah, Robinson. Yeah, there's a bunch. So yeah, I think FC Cincinnati, this could be really fun. Obviously, you want to get the 2 seed, but if you're the 3 seed, it's not the end of the world because I think the difference in that is so marginal.
Yeah.
Like you're not playing the wild card team at this point, so. And truthfully, like going into, it's going to be tough before we know like if they're playing Orlando or not, like to really preview it. But they're going into a bye week this week. Get healthy, get right. I'm worried about, some of their guys going forward as to like, are they going to try to be too much for the moment because they lost Luciano Acosta. Mm-hmm. He hasn't played with them this whole year, but he was a former MLS MVP. He was the guy, and now this year it's been this guy Denke is the guy, and Denke, I'm worried sometimes tries to do too much to look like, to prove he's the guy. Mm-hmm. And will that be heightened in the playoffs? I don't know, but we could, I guess we'll talk more about it when we know like this is what's going on.
Yeah, we'll be able to talk more about it next week, but I'm excited to talk more soccer. I love talking soccer.
I think we might, I do too, but I think we might be losing listeners if we say that too much.
No, but we've lost the Reds. I'm looking up at our games. Yeah. We've lost the Reds. The Bengals will
wait and see.
Will be an interesting journey, and
I'm excited to talk college hoops. It's coming right around the corner.
I couldn't be more excited.
Yeah,
most excited.
College hoops coming up. We'll dip our toes into the NBA and NHL when necessary. Mm-hmm. It's just good stories with ties and all that stuff. We talk about our Cincy dude in the news. It brings us all the way back to the Bengals.
Yeah.
David Montgomery, the pride of Mount Healthy High School, the Owls, running back for the Detroit Lions. The lock of locks, if you're a gambler, was to bet anytime touchdown David Montgomery. Because if there is one coach in the NFL who's going to guarantee his player a hometown touchdown, it is Dan Campbell of the Detroit Lions. Well, David Montgomery, a little more than that. But when he was at Mount Healthy, before he was a running back, he was QB1 for the Owls. Mm-hmm. He threw a touchdown. And through 3 quarters, he had more passing touchdowns than the whole Bengals offense.
That's the true Lions thing. It's not get my player a touchdown. It's come up with a crazy trick play to get my player a touchdown. Whether it's Panay
and that was after he was stuffed twice, Montgomery. It was third down.
They were dedicated to getting Monty a touchdown.
And then he's rushed for a touchdown, too. So he had 2. So I guess if you bet anytime touchdown, you might have been sweating a little bit, thinking it was over because it doesn't count if they throw for a touchdown. They have to be the one who crosses the goal line. He did wind up crossing in the fourth quarter. Fourth quarter was his touchdown. And great moment.
Beautiful.
David Montgomery's sister was in an car accident, right?
Yeah, she was in an accident that paralyzed her. Mm-hmm. Obviously, his whole family lives here, so he had like 20 plus people in the crowd.
Bengals did a great job making sure they were all accommodated.
But the Bengals, in addition to just like being nice to his family, let his sister Kiki come down to the tunnel where they came out.
Yeah.
And he got to actually like hug her, talk to her, high five her, and then go out and play. And then, the broadcast would always show her every single time
he emotional.
Did anything. Bengals fans were like fist bumping her and like celebrating with her when he would do well.
I'll give Cincinnati this, like they don't forget their own,
Yeah.
Like I'm not saying like this, like I don't give them a lot. I love Cincinnati.
Yeah.
But I'm saying like they the bigger picture can be seen.
For as much as people want to talk about the Browns as leaders and what they want to pay for, they're always going to be incredibly nice and accommodating to people. Yeah,
100%. So that was great. Dave is a really nice guy.
Yeah.
Like as a human being, and like I think his sister, it seemed like put a lot of life perspective on him.
Mm-hmm. And he hadn't played here since graduating from Mount Healthy.
Right, because he was in the NFC.
Yeah, and they'd never come over here. So that was the first time that he actually got to play in front of his hometown crowd.
Yes, and I thought it was very funny. We're covering the game, and he throws for a touchdown, and I was thinking, a couple other people must have been thinking it, but then when there was one voice who's not even a journalist in the press box goes, I'm pretty sure he played quarterback at Mount Healthy. Like everyone in Cincinnati just like knew. It was very cool. It was very cool. So congrats, David Montgomery, since you do in the news, although you did beat the Bengals. But truthfully, no disrespect to David Montgomery, I don't think he was a difference maker in that game, even though he had 2 touchdowns.
Yeah, it didn't really matter. But David Montgomery, looking for a place to go after the Lions' contract is up. Come on down. They'll take another running back.
If they don't have to pay him. If it's volunteer work. Is that all we got?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Thanks so much for watching. Relax. It's just sports, listening, all the things. Anywhere you find your podcast, Spotify, Apple, YouTube, all those good things. And keep following along. See you next week.